get in, Paul and Paul. Don't want Paul to miss it. Paul should be coming into the room now. Yes, good. We're going to continue with our balance work. If you joined the class last week, we're going to continue with some more hip mobilization to get those hips moving. And then we're going to work through the whole Turkish get-up. So lots to do in half an hour. We will start off by rubbing our hands. So rub your hands together, create some nice friction through the body. And then good shake. Shake and vibration is excellent to get that working through the body. And then we're just going to tap. I'm not tapping too loudly here because I've got the mic on there, I'll deafen everybody. So tap on the collarbone. All around the chest. Good for lymphatic drainage. Create two fists. Give your bum a good vibration in there, get those hips working. We're going to be doing a lot of work with the hips. So get some vibration through there, into the lower back. Obviously don't hammer yourself too hard, but just get some vibration. You can come all the way up to the upper back, kidneys, thighs, calves. Get all the blood flowing. Shake out the ankles. I think Paul is just still trying to get in. Oh no, it's Phil. All these people late this morning, everybody's overslept. Okay, let's do some work on the hips. So we're going to bring our feet hip width apart. Hip width apart is dangling underneath the knobbly bits at the top of the hip, not the outside of the hip. And we're just going to imagine we're skiing. So you've got two little ski poles there. And we're going to do a little bounce. So it's just a little bounce, 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 little double bounce at the bottom. And then just let the arms swing, bounce, bounce, bounce. Get that sense of rhythm. Nice and easy. I'll watch you from the side. I'll show you from the side. So it's just a nice, easy bounce, creating momentum as the arms just swing up. You're not having to do anything to bring the arms back. They're just swinging up. Breathing is easy and in and out through the nose. If you get out of breath doing this, we just stop. Few more. And then just let the arms rest by the side. Now we're going to bring our feet back shoulder width apart, and we want our feet turning out a little bit. So maybe about 25 degrees. The key is that the knees, when we sink down into this squat position, the knees are gliding over the toes, not dropping in like this for the minute. As you know, if you've come along to the classes previously, we're really focusing on intention rather than just doing loads of reps of a specific exercise. So my intention for this particular movement is I'm just going to have a check what's on the ground. What's down there? Does it feel nice and firm down there? Yeah, that feels okay. And then I'm just going to come back up. So I'm just going to go touch the ground, come back up. Now, if your hips are a little bit tight, you can only get to there, that's fine. I don't want you to force yourself into position. But if it's comfortable, you're just sitting down and coming back up. And again, I'm not doing leaning forwards. I'm just lowering my center of gravity, checking the ground. Doesn't matter if my background's a little bit there. And then coming back up. So it's all about just gently mobilizing the hips. What you can do when you're there is you can just make sure that your knees aren't dropping in by just gently pushing the knees out with the elbows. So you can just slide, my knees dropping in. Now I'm just going to gently push out to the side. And again, this is all controlled by the breath. So if you get here and it's hard work, you just stop. And if you just get into here and doing that, that's perfect. It's not about pushing, it's not about forcing, it's not about copying my movement, it's watching your knees glide, keeping your upper body tall. So this is fine. If we get to there, that's fine. Let's keep going. Again, smooth, fluid, easy movement. What's on the floor? Just going to check down there. Oh, yeah, feels quite good. And I'm going to come back up. Check down there. Come back up. Slowly down. Push through the heels and come back up. Slowly down. Good. In control of each of the movements, all of the movement in control. Nice crack through my knees there. Let's do a couple more of these. And then come back up to stand. You might want to give your legs a little bit of a shake out. So you should feel those hips have been working and also opening up a little bit. Now we're going to go slightly wider stance. So not too wide, but a comfortable wide stance. We're going to, I'll show you from the side. We're going to sit back into about, what's that, a quarter of a squat. So you sit into a quarter of a squat. We're going to maintain this natural curve in the base of our spine. So I'm not rounding my lower back. I'm not compressing and thrusting the chest out. So I'm literally just balancing my rib cage over my pelvis at this particular angle and getting my head balanced on top as well. From that position, we're going to keep our torso facing forwards and not tilting. You're just going to slide across. So you're going to extend through the hip there, or through the leg there. And then you're going to keep low as you slide back across that way. And slide, so you're watching my knee. It's not doing this. It's just gliding over that toe. My hips are staying square on. So everything is square on with the upper body. A little bit slower. Some of you are just going forwards and backwards, slow through the movement. Torso upright. This will really help to work the front of the hips. It's easy to do this, but we want the hips square on, lengthen down that leg, square on, lengthen, and the hips are nice and rotating all the way through that movement. Hips and lower back are always a good place to work, because we think, oh, I really need to support my spine, which obviously we do, but actually it can create too much tightness and tension around the spine and around the hips. And if we do that, then it's actually just going to lock things out and put more pressure on it and more load through it. So what we want to be doing when we're walking and when we're running and moving is making sure that we transfer the load through the hips and through the lower back efficiently. So it's always about balance and having that right balance of stability, but also mobility and flexibility. So you don't want your hips so flexible that you can do loads of weird things, but then when you're moving, you're overloading the body, but you don't want the hips locked. And one of the best ways to monitor how you're working is obviously with a breath. And smooth, slow, fluid movement. Come back up to standing. Give the legs a bit of a shake out. One more little hip mobility practice, which is one of my favorite ones. And I must admit, I keep forgetting to do this one, but it's one of the best ones. We've done a lot of one-legged balance stuff. So you're going to balance on your right leg, take the left heel off the ground. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the left hip. I'm going to take it back, and then I'm going to lift it, but I'm going to lift it by pushing this right hip down into the ground. So I'm creating a circle using this right hip. So I'm stabilized on the right side, dropping the left hip, taking it back, lifting it over and down. So I'm doing a circle with this left hip. I'll be drawing a circle on the wall over there with the left hip, but I'm using the right hip to draw that circle. So down, lift, over, down, lift, over. So this is great because, again, what happens when you walk and you run is you land on that hip and you step through. So all we're doing here is working that mobility of the pelvis and the hip. So down, lift, over. If this isn't burning the hip, you ain't doing it right. Watch all of this going on with the balance. See if you can keep as balanced and as stable in that upper body. Again, watch where the upper body is, because if the hip's pushing forwards, it's pulling on completely different muscle sling systems. Really work the heel down, lift, forwards, down, lift, forwards. My hip is burning. Give yourself a little rest, and then we'll do it on the opposite side. So stabilize on the left side. So that's the first thing we do, really make sure you're nice and strong and stable on that left side. Then we're going to drop the right hip, and now we're going a circle on that wall with the right hip, but we're using the left hip to do the work. I'm not hiking this right hip up by shortening my muscles in the back or in the torso here. That's easy to do. And that is often one of the compensations we use if the hip is weak, is we start to hike the opposite hip with these muscles. So if you're starting to feel tightness in the back, because you're using these muscles. We want these muscles to be as relaxed as possible, this right hand side to be as relaxed as possible and as long as possible. And we want the left hand side to be doing the work. And you'll most probably find, as I do, there's a big difference one side to the other. So easy for me to do it on this left side. Really have to think about the right side. Again, notice the rhythm and the timing. And you might notice if you're a runner, oh, this feels very similar to when I'm running. In that we're doing obviously a bigger movement, but you're getting that sense of that movement and rotation through the hip joint. So it takes longer for my left hip and glute to really start burning because it's more fluid on my left-hand side. And you're bound to find things like that. Very few people say, oh no, that's exactly the same both sides, because we're not symmetrical and we're not trying to force ourselves into being symmetrical. It's just creating awareness of where we need to maybe strengthen a little bit, but also where we need to mobilize a little bit as well. Good, done quite a bit of work on the hips. Grab a drink if you need a drink. And then we'll go onto our Turkish get-up that we've been practicing. let's actually watch me first, but then we'll go on the floor. So if it's easy for you just to stand and watch me, or if it's easier for you to get on the floor and watch me, whatever you want to do, but I'm just going to work you through, because this time we're going to go through the whole move. So we're going to do it all in one go. And I'll just do it step by step, and then I'll talk you through it. So I'm going to start on the right side. So my right leg is in standing as I'm lying on the floor. My right arm is punching towards the sky. And I want you to imagine you've got a weight in your hand. So it's not down here, you're actually punching upwards. So you're actually working against a weight coming down on you. We're then going to take our left side out about 45 degrees. So step one is come on the elbow, watch it first, and then we'll work it through. Step one is elbow. Step two is hand. Really make sure you're strong through the shoulders. Step three is lift the hip. Now watch the knees. If your knees are tight, if you've got any issues with your knees, just go careful on this one. Swing this leg through so you're balanced on your left hand. Your right hand is up there, and you've got a little bit of weight through that left knee. So not all the load is on the knee. Then you're going to windscreen wiper that left ankle towards the side, towards the hand. And as you do that, you're going to rotate the upper body. So your upper body is now facing forwards over that right knee. You might then want to step back a little bit with this right foot. So then you can shift your center of gravity forwards. Make sure you're looking at the wrist there and step up. Easy. Then from there, we step back, keep the focus on your arm, lower the knee, make sure you're comfortable on that knee, windscreen wiper the heel, so it brings you to rotate round to put your hand on the ground. That was my knee cracking. Stabilize on the hand, strong through the shoulders, swing that leg through, hip down, elbow down, make sure you've got room behind you, just gently, slowly roll back down to the ground and then bring your arm back down. Now I saw some of you following that, that's great. If you followed that, swap sides. If you didn't follow that, we'll go on the right side. Okay, so step one, right foot in standing, right hand above, work against a little bit of resistance up there. We do a little bit of a crunch here to bring yourself onto elbow. Strong through the shoulders, so connect elbow, left elbow to that right hand. Then you come onto the hand, again strong through the shoulders, watch these shoulders aren't collapsing, strong and tall through the shoulders. Lift that right hip. When you're confident you've got stable on that right side, you can slide the left leg behind. Now at this point you're rotating towards that way. From there, swing the left leg and the upper body so you're now facing that way. Still keep that focus on the wrist. Step that right leg back if you need to. Shift your center of gravity forward so you've got weight over this right leg so you can stand up safely. No wobbling. From there, keep strong through that right arm. Step back and balance. Balance first. Get your balance first. Then lower the knee. Then windscreen wiper the ankle so you can bring your arm down to the floor. Once you're strong through the arm and shoulders, you can swing your leg through. Place your bum on the floor. Place your elbow on the floor. Slowly, I'm going to be in the garden in a minute. Slowly, 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 slowly down. And then you can rest your right arm and your right leg. I'm going to slide down my mat a little bit and take a minute just to recover. So what is great about that exercise or that movement is it's working absolutely everything. And it's just a great, simple exercise to do, but you've got to make sure that you're in control and that you're strong through all of those positions. Give yourself a little rest, and then we'll go on the other side. So if you followed me the first time, you're back on the right. If you watch me the first time, we're on the left. I'm just going to let my breath settle a little bit. So my right leg goes long and goes out about 45 degrees. Just going to move up a bit so I don't fall on the table. My right arm goes out about 45 degrees. My left leg is in standing with a knee pointing towards the sky, towards the ceiling. And then I bring my left arm up, lifting up. So when I'm ready, I'm going to do that little bit of crunch. Left elbow, strong through the shoulders. Sorry, that was right elbow, got that wrong. Right right wrist, strong through the shoulders. So when you're strong there, left foot, lift, swing that right leg through. Watch the knee, make sure you place the knee safely. You've still got the weight and the strength through that right arm. From there, you can swing the right leg out, windscreen wiper it out, and then you're facing forward. You're bringing the torso and the hips to face forwards. So everything's facing forward. You can step back that left foot if you need to a little bit. Shift your center of gravity so you're loading that left hip, so that left hip can do the work to stand up. Strong through that left arm. Shoulders set back and down. And then when you're ready, step back and balance. Take your time here to balance. Don't just go down if you're wobbling. So balance, lower that back knee. Take your time to lower that back knee. Make sure you don't crash onto that right knee. Windscreen wiper the right ankle. Pop that right hand on the ground. Stabilize, strong through the shoulders. When you're strong there, you can lift that right leg through. Stick your bum on the floor. Come down to right elbow. Roll the spine down. Bring the arm down. You can just let the legs lengthen out there. That's great. If everybody did that, it's the first time we've gone through the whole movement. How are we doing time-wise? Right, we won't do another one. Let's just get some time here just to lengthen out the spine. And let the breath settle. So just tune in with the breathing. So the breathing will be quite quick now because there's a lot of work going on there. You require a lot of oxygen to actually create those big movements. You're using all of the big muscles. So just take your time to let the breath settle. Just tune in to the nostrils, keeping the lips lightly together. But just some light rain going on here now. It's actually quite relaxing. Just let the breath calm. And then you're going to bring your feet to standing. So keep the back on the floor, the neck on the floor. And if you're on a mat, take them to the side of the mat so they're a little bit wider than hip width apart. You're going to bring your palms facing towards the ceiling. And we're going to just do some nice rotation. So I'd like you to push in with the back of the forearm and the back of the hand of the right side of the body, and just allow the knees to drop to the left. and then go the other way. So gentle push, you're pushing from that left side, and then you're just rotating the knees over to the right. So let the hips and the head do whatever it wants, and then rotate the other way. Notice the mobility in the ankle. You might open up the hips, open up the back. Again, no strain. If you get to that point and it's strain, it's not about pulling, it's not about stretching, it's just about elongating. Imagine if you were pulling some plasticine and you were really tugging at it, it would just break. So you just want to warm it, mold it, lengthen it. Think of elongating the spine, lengthening and elongating. Should feel nice after all the work you just done. Just rocking side to side, again, rhythm. So important. Timing and rhythm. You can have the best flexibility and stability and mobility in the world, but if your timing and your rhythm's out, that can still load the body in inefficient movement patterns. And then when you drop to one side, whatever side you're on, if you've got space, then just tuck the foot so you roll onto that side that you're on. And then you can come up to sitting. Take your time to come up to standing. Don't rush because we've been on the floor for a little bit there, so don't want your blood pressure dropping. Just take your time really slowly to come back up to standing. Take your feet about shoulder width apart. We're just going to circle the arms overhead and then palms down towards the ground as you come back in. So knees soft, and just visualize that you're just gathering all the energy from the space around you. You're gathering that energy and you're just bringing that energy into your body. And we're gathering the energy. This is great if you're outside, but still good if you're inside. Wherever you are, you can gather the energy, bring the energy into the body. 2 more. Gather everything around you. Bring that into the body, energize the body. Gather. Energize. Just let the arms rest by the side and bring the feet together. Hands a little bit of a rub. Give yourself a bit of pat on the back because you did really well. Pat on the glutes because you did really well. Pat in the kidneys, pat in the lower back. Give yourself a little bit of a shake out. And we will finish there. Excellent work. It's good that we've gone all the way through that, so I'm really pleased with that. Again, this will be on the training portal, so I would really like your feedback, because when I'm demonstrating, this is different from when I'm delivering a class when we're working together as a small group, because I'm not actually, I can't see in detail what you're all doing. So it'd be really good to get your comments back on this, just to see how that is working, because it's a challenging exercise, and which bits maybe you'd like me to highlight a little bit more on, or where you maybe feel you need some more strength and some more work on. So that can then dictate how we continue with the rest of the classes. What I would like to do next week is a little bit of a weight. So I've got a kettlebell. You don't need a kettlebell. You can have a tiny dumbbell, a kilogram dumbbell, if you're finding that quite easy and you're really working on that Turkish get-up, a little bit of a weight, because it's actually, it also helps to have something to push against. So if you can get a weight, it can be a bag of rice or whatever, as long as it's comfortable to hold. So we'll bring that in next week. What else was I going to say? Saturday, if anybody wants to do the breathing workshops, my next 3 sessions, my next course of Optimize Your Breathing workshop starts on Saturday. I know a lot of you have done that, so thanks for doing that. So if you did it and enjoyed it, tell your friends and get them to register. Also, I'd really appreciate if you could leave some feedback on Google, because that's quite good to get people aware of joining these free classes as well. So please tell people to register and join the free classes. I'm going to continue these throughout July, maybe throughout August. Let's see how it all goes. I'm waffling on too much now. Thanks for your time. Have a great day, and I will see you all soon. Take care. Bye.